Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd show you another update on the space station. So yesterday I didn't get a huge amount of time to work on things, no time to jump in the game and continue a playthrough on Reforge 8 and 2. I will today though, a little bit later today. I wanted to show you what has been done with the space station since the last update, and quite a few things. I've actually got another 5-6 hours of time in on it. Still got another 5-6 hours of time to put in it to finish it. But one of the first things I messed around with quite a bit is the hangar area and the texturing in the hangar area. So I changed around quite a few things. I changed the walls a little bit, the block work on the walls. It was like solid red, kind of going in stripes on here, and I kind of changed that around a lot. But the big change was adding in a whole lot of texture lights. Trying to really do something kind of fun with the texture lights here, and I had certain areas using these alternative blocks around the edges here where I could really add, like, you know, hexagon formations of texture lights and things like that. So, and then I try to complement that by adding some more like red texture lights going through the central hangar area, I guess you could say. And then I did a lot more texture tweaking in other areas, and just really try to get this thing dialed in where it looks better. And it's kind of it's an unusual look, and I'm kind of embracing a little bit of what you might see in, I don't know, other space games. You know, it's not quite like any of them. It's not quite like Elite or No Man's Sky, but I'm really kind of digging on these texture lights now that I put them in there, especially the trim going around that. I thought that looked kind of neat. I tried all kinds of things. I tried using mixed it where some of them were red and some were white texture lights, and that didn't look as good. I actually kind of liked them all the same color, but it kind of accents the rest of it in here. So I wanted to get some good detail in here without adding a bunch of actual physical lights. In fact, there's not many lights in the hangar area at all. There's 4 lights total, and they're just right on the module bay entries right now. I don't know if I'm going to add any more lights, and that's kind of why I wanted to get the texture lights in there too. I wanted this to be nice and visible, but trying to light up an area like this sucks. I mean, you really can't do it with the regular lights. You can't get good illumination on this, and I hate the look of trying to run spotlights on the inside of the hangar. It washes everything out. Looks kind of and it's really taxing on the you know, if you got a little bit of a decrepit graphics card like me, it really hurts your system doing that too, and I didn't think it looks very good. But anyway, so that part was done. So some other changes, I started working out the farming section and the repair bay area. So up in here, I got a lot more work to do on this. Granted, this was just started, just kind of trying to get a layout in on where the grow plots were going to go and how I was going to do the walls and everything in this area. And it's kind of this is what I came up with so far. Now, one thing that I could do, obviously right now it has, let's see, 18 times 8 of grow plots. I'd have to grab a calculator real quick and figure out how many that is, but it's a decent amount. A lot more grow plots could be added to this area, but to do that, I would want to build a thin wall layer, probably of carbon, over these, the top and bottom landing pads. Which would kind of seal off those grow plots so you wouldn't see them from the hangar space. And then I could use this space to add in a whole lot more grow plots in the area. I just don't know if I want to do that, because to seal up all of these landing pads, they'd probably look all right. Just using thin blocks, maybe beveled edges around the corners and things like that, it would work. But at the same time, I'd be adding at least maybe 250 more blocks to the build to do that, and I don't know if it's really worth it. And how many farming plots do you want? But that's something I wanted to ask about. I mean, what do you guys think? You think I ought to try to do that and build layers over these landing pads? And I would feel compelled to do the other side, even though it doesn't need to be done. It's just to keep everything symmetrical looking and stuff, and it would be really easy to do. There's little thin blocks that could work, like go over all these areas here just with probably your flat blocks in these locations. And then I could even probably do like a little bevel thing or something like in the corners. There's a few different blocks I could pick for, for options on that too. So that would kind of like make the bottom landing pads look like that. And then I would texture over the top of them too. So it'd probably look the same texture wise and everything like that too. That is a possibility, but again, that's a lot of blocks to add to the build to pull that off. And I don't know if I want to do that or not. So I figured I would ask the question to you guys to see what you think. You think what it's got right now for grow plots is enough? Keep in mind it does have 2 module bays too, and if you're really into farming, you could certainly bring in a farming module and park it there and have whatever that does on top of whatever this does. That is another thing. So on the very top side right now, I started working out what the repair bay itself is going to look like on the top side. I don't know if this is final yet or not, but this is just kind of a ballpark idea. I wanted to get some glass in around here, so when there's a door here, basically if you're going to repair a CV or something, you park it there, you slide down in the door, and then there'll be a repair console right around here, and then you can kind of look up a little bit and kind of see your creation through some of the glass up on the top, and that's kind of how I wanted that to work. So all right, so beyond that, there's a couple more areas in the creation now too. On either side of the hangar, there are these doors up here, not on the bottom side though, and that goes into these other rooms here that I don't really know what to put in right now. But this is where those additional storage controllers were put in. So essentially 4 more 640K bays, bringing it up to 25 640K bays total now. And then it's got floor space in here. Now, what I was thinking about doing, at least on one side here, is to have like the core room. And then the other side, maybe a crew area or something like that. Now, beyond that though, and I put in these ladders, but it's 0G base, so it doesn't really make much sense. But down below, there's even more room, and there's locations. There's actually 4 locations like this, or 2x2x6, are the exact size to fit an advanced generator. When repairing a CV, I don't know how much power the base was going to need for that. So I kind of wanted, and especially if you're doing production at the same time, so I wanted a location somewhere in here to put in 1 advanced generator. But how everything works with a build like this is I've got 4 locations now, and there's no way you would ever need anything like that for power generation in here, I don't think. So I don't really know what to do with these other areas. I just don't really have any more parts or anything I can think of to put in them. Again, it could be some kind of like maybe 0G crew bedding or like crew room or something like that, or where there's beds laid across the walls, or I don't really know. And that's just one of those things, you know. Right now I could just kind of I could probably just leave it like this on the insides in here and, you know, kind of paint it and try to make it look like something, but I really don't know what to put in there at this point in time. But, you know, more locations to add stuff is always great, so you know, have a lot of extra room here on the sides. But that is kind of where I'm at with the station at this point in time, and it's certainly getting there. Again, I got probably another 5-6 hours of work to put into this thing before I really get it ready. But at least everything is laid out there, and keep in mind too, it will not come stock with the grow plots. I will put in the filler block things in their place, like I normally do, so you can add grow plots how you want. And keep in mind, up here also there's going to be like your freezer and food processor section and stuff like that as well. So there's going to be a little bit more stuff in here. On these end pieces, this was kind of a weird thing to figure out what I was going to do. The windows don't line up with the floor here, and I thought about even trying to move the glass around, but that really doesn't work out either. So yeah, it's kind of ugly if I change the glass. It changes the whole, it messes it up. So it's got these like indentations kind of going around the corners here. Again, kind of in a big hexagon-ish octagon pattern, something like that. So in these areas, it could be just, you know, places to chill out, maybe put some seats in here and a TV and a couch and stuff like that, so you can kind of like chill out on the edges of the farm, I guess. Have some visibility out outside of the base. But I think this is the best layout I came up with for the farming section right now, at least. And I'm gonna be obviously probably modifying a lot more blocks up here in the ceiling, trying to get more detail, and then trying to make these look like they're on something that's holding the grow lights in position besides just a flat ceiling. The flat ceiling works. I actually don't mind it so bad, being kind of smooth, but there a lot more detail could be added to the area, messing with the ceiling and stuff like that. So anyway, please let me know what you think about the question I got about the farms. Again, could probably add in, I'm just guessing, probably close to 100 more grow plots to this build if I did do the landing pad thing and use the thin block rows over the landing pads on the top and bottom of the base. I wouldn't technically have to do it on the bottom side, but then it would be asymmetrically different from the top side, which would kind of bug me with this build. Now, I like asymmetrical builds just fine, and probably the next thing I'm going to build is going to have a lot more asymmetrical stuff going on with it. But my next building project's already kind of planned, and I think I got an idea on what I want to, a general idea for a ship. Next one's going to be a combat CV, a higher end one that is going to be for legacy space. And I kind of seen some pictures of a couple spaceships in a different video game series called X4. And there's one, I caught a brief picture of it, and it kind of has the right shape to be a good combat CV in this game, and it looked kind of neat. Although I'm not copying that or doing a replica, I just wanted to get at least a ballpark idea, image in my mind on how I would go about building a combat CV that could be effective in game, and also go into legacy space with the heavy armor and all that kind of fun stuff. So that is something on my mind. So that'll probably be the next build project after this one. But this one's getting close. It's getting close to done. Again, probably about another 6 hours or so of time that I got to put into this thing, and I think I'll pretty much have it wrapped up at that point in time. And I do plan on bringing this into game as well, and spawning it somewhere in some system and calling it home. See how it works in game. But other than that, y'all have yourself a great day, and I will talk to you later.